Okay, today we're going to work on our polluting our planet and conserving resources using text features and text structure pages. So we haven't done one of these before, so let's read the directions to make sure we understand this. Text features are ways authors organize information. Different text features can help readers understand what they are reading. Look back in the passages at the text feature. Think about how those features helped you as a reader. So number 1 says label the different text features you see in the passages. Check off the features in the list below as you label them. You will not find all the features in the list. Okay, so let's come down here and let's look at these. The first one says headings. Okay, probably this is a great example of a heading. So I'm going to type heading, and I'm going to make it pretty small. Make sure that it is right there next to air pollution where I circled it. Okay. This next one says bold words. Okay, we have a couple bold words in our stories. So one of the ones that I see is right here. It says exhaust. Okay, and so that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There. Okay, now I need another. There we go. And so that is going to be my bold words. Okay. Now, this one says table of contents. I don't see a table of contents, so that's not something I have. But a picture, I do have a picture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and circle this. And I'm going to write right next to it, pictures / photograph. Okay, I do not have an index. I don't see that anywhere. I don't see a map anywhere. This one says diagram. A lot of times in science things, we will see diagrams, but we don't in either of these two pages. Now, a glossary. We do have a glossary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just circle one whole glossary. So down there, that little box, that is a glossary. And I'm going to label it 3. Okay. And then our last one says captions. Okay. No. So a caption is below or next to a picture. So there's one right here, there's one right here. So I circled up here. I'm going to use this one and just type caption next to it right there. Okay. Now, the other thing it asked us to do was check off the features. So we found headings, we found bold words, we found a picture, we found the glossary, and the caption. So we found quite a few text features. Okay, so our next part is to come down here and answer question 2. When I was reading, I noticed a photograph. A photograph helped me. So this can be answered in a lot of different ways. Since we don't have a whole lot of this around here, it helps me picture the factory smoke. Helps me see what factory smoke looks like. Okay, and that's all you have to do is answer that. Okay, so now this next one, you get to choose. So when I was reading, I noticed blank. Okay, I noticed the glossary because that is so important. And so that's the one I'm choosing. You can choose something different. So I noticed the glossary. The glossary, I'm going to put that in the second blank, helped me learn what the vocabulary words mean. Okay, so you just have to tell how that works. And now you're done with the text features page. Okay, so this next one is a little bit more difficult, but you have done text structures in Ms. Turpin's class or in my class. We've helped you with this. So let's see if we can figure this out. Directions. Look back at both passages. Decide how the author organized the text in each passage. Choose the text structure that best describes each passage. Answer the written response question using evidence and examples from the text. So the first one, it asks us to do polluting our planet. Polluting our planet is organized by using. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of these. We got problem and solution, cause and effect, question and answer, compare and contrast, description, or sequence. So we need to go back. We need to kind of look at our story and see how this is structured. Okay. And the first thing I noticed that I've got 4 paragraphs. Okay, we got an introductory paragraph and then one on air pollution, one on land, and one on water. In my introduction paragraph, I'm going to reread that so that you can get an idea of what we're looking at. So it says pollution happens when a harmful material is added to the environment. Not only is the planet impacted by pollution, but humans and animals and natural resources are as well. There are 3 types of pollution: air pollution, water pollution, and land pollution all cause problems on Earth. Okay, so I see that word problem, and it makes me think I could possibly have problems and solutions. But with the way this is organized, I don't see a specific solution for this. Okay, not everything has a solution. So I need to look for something else. I don't see a question that it sets up. So it's not going to be question and answer. Compare and contrast, it's not showing me just 2 things. I've got several things on this paper. Description is a possibility because it does give us quite a bit of description. And sequence is when things are in order, like first, next, last. And I don't see any of those words. But my main thing that I see is cause and effect. Okay, it tells me air pollution happens when harmful material is released in the air. That's the cause. And then it tells me the effects of that. So it makes it hard for people to breathe. Okay. It tells me what land pollution is, that it happens when people throw trash in the wrong place. And then it talks about how the trash doesn't decompose or break down, and the chemicals get into the ground and the air. Okay, and so that is a cause and an effect. And then we have water. It tells me what it is, and that it brings it into the water and makes animals and people sick. So I think cause and effect is probably the best answer here. So cause and effect. I know this because each paragraph tells me a cause of pollution and says what the effects of the type of pollution are. So now I need to come down here, and it says this text structure helps me as I am reading because it organizes the text into a way to easily understand what pollution does to the environment. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our other story, which is conserving resources. Okay, now again, when I'm coming up here, we have problem and solution. Okay, and it tells us okay, so it's kind of separated into paragraphs. So we have the introduction, we have how can I reduce, how can I reuse, how can I recycle. Okay, and it tells us at the beginning what our problem is, but I need to see if I can find solutions for that one. So it tells us that solution is the problem. So let's see if it gives us some solutions. It tells us some ideas for reducing. So, reducing the amount of water. So turning off the faucet when I'm brushing my teeth. Reducing how much gasoline we use by riding bikes or carpooling. It tells us how to reuse things. So that's when we use something over and over again. And then it talks about plates that we use. So instead of using paper ones, we can use glass plates. And then it talks about recycling. Okay, so it's when something is broken down and made new. Okay, it talks about how recycling creates more space in landfills. So we do have problem and solution here, which that's our first one up here, and that's what we came up with. So down here, we are going to say conserving resources is organized by problem and solution. I know this because how do I know this? Well, the first paragraph tells us the problem, or it says I at the beginning, so it tells me the problem is natural resources cannot be replaced. The solution is to conserve natural resources. Okay, so this text structure helps me as I am reading because what does it do when we're reading? How does it help us? Okay, so it helps because it tells me the problem. And then gives me things I can do to help the problem. And now we're completely done with our pollution and conserving resources packet. Good job.